Hi everyone, welcome back to the class. Today we'll be learning about some C instructions. C instructions are the commands in the programs that instruct the compiler to do some certain action. Basically, it gives the instruction to the compiler on how to achieve the goal of the program. For example, when we say add two numbers, C compiler will not understand how to do it. But if we write using the arithmetic operator with the plus sign and number of variables, it gives meaningful information to the compiler on how to get the sum. First, let us see the basic syntax rules that we need to follow while writing a C program. It mainly composed with tokens, identifiers, keywords, semicolons, comments, and white spaces. Firstly, coming to the tokens, all identifiers, keywords, symbols, literals, etc. are together known as tokens. For example, printf, curly braces, round braces, semicolon, any string statement inside the printf or code are known as tokens. Let's take an example. As you see here, printf in bracket inside the double quote, enter the name, close bracket and semicolon. Over here, in this statement, printf individually is a token, the open bracket individually is a token, closed bracket individually is a token, the string enter the name is a token, and the semicolon itself is a token. Next, coming to the identifiers, these are the variable names, function names, or any other user-defined names within the program. Standard format of any identifier name is to begin with alphabets, uppercase or lowercase, or underscore. It is then followed by any alphabet or digits, but it does not allow other special symbols like dollar symbol and percentage symbol to be used within the identifier. C identifiers are case sensitive. This is a very important point to note. Examples of identifiers are these. They can start with an alphabet or underscore, but they cannot start with a digit, but they can be followed by a digit, alphabets or underscores. Next, coming to keywords, they are reserved words in the C are called keywords as discussed in first class. Examples of keywords are break, if, else, enum, typedef, etc. Semicolons. All codes in C have to be terminated by semicolon. It indicates the end of the line of the code. Example, printf enter the name ends with a semicolon. This is the end of that command. The next command is to get the character, and that also ends with semicolon. And the next command is to return a 0, and that ends with a semicolon. Next, coming to comments. Comments are the non-compilable lines of code in the program. They are used to give the information about the code. C comments are written within slash or after double slash. White spaces. White spaces are used to separate two identifiers, keywords, or any tokens, or to have blank line, new line, etc. Now let's discuss about the input and output commands. Some of the input and output commands are getchar, scanf, gets, putchar, printf, and puts. The user input can be anything, maybe integer values, float or double values, character or string values. The code should be strong enough to accept any of these kind of inputs from the user and should be able to differentiate its type. These entered input values are accepted by using function getchar, scanf or gets function. Similarly, the result of operation inside the program can be anything from number to string. This can be displayed on the screen using putchar and printf functions. Both input and output functions are defined in the header file stdio.h. Hence, we need to add this processor directive file before starting the main function in any C program. Now, going to getchar. This function is used to read one character, maybe alphabets, numbers, or any symbols from the standard input, stdin. It also allows users to enter as many characters as they enter, but it stores only the initial character. As you can see, It's getting the character, but user types in two different characters at the same time. It only takes the first character. Now let's look at scanf. We have scanf functions which accepts any number of characters, alphabets, numbers, and symbols. But here we need to specify the data type of the input values to differentiate from strings, digits, and fraction numbers. Usually %d is used for integer values, %f is used for float values, %id is used for double, %c for characters. Gets. This is the function used only to input the string values. It accepts all the alphanumerical characters from the user. We can even enter numbers, but it considers it as an ASCII value of alphanumerical characters. Putchar. This function is used to write one character into the standard output, stdout. That means it displays only one character at a time on the screen for the user. The output character can be any alphanumerical character. Next, coming to printf, this is the most used command. This function will display any alphanumerical value of any length of a variable. It can be also used to display any message to the user. Like for suppose in this example, when we run this code, we get this command displayed to us. Next, coming to puts, this is meant for displaying a line or string value. It can display any alphanumerical values. Now, let's look into the instructions used in C program. There are three major types of instructions in C: type declaration instructions, arithmetic instructions, control instructions. Let's look at type declaration instructions. These type of instructions inform the compiler about the type of variables used. That means whenever a variable is used in the program, we have to specify what type of data it can hold, like integer, float, double, character, etc. This makes the compiler to store only those specific types of values in it. Declaration of a variable is done in the beginning inside the main function. Any other function in the program can also have variables, and they need to be declared at the beginning of respective functions. Arithmetic functions. These instructions are used to perform some arithmetic calculations within the program. It uses arithmetic operations like plus, minus, into, division, percentage, equal to, etc. The variables that participate in the arithmetic operations are termed as operands. These operations have their own precedence while evaluating the instructions. It first evaluates any instruction within parentheses, that is brackets, then multiplication and division, then addition and subtraction, and finally assigns the value to the resultant variable. It follows this particular flow when doing a calculation. If the instruction contains any logical operation, then it evaluates logical not first, NOT not. Then it proceeds to evaluating multiplication, division, modulus, then addition and subtraction, then relational operation like double is equal to or not is equal to, then logical and, then logical or, and finally assigns the value. And in case of instruction contains any logical operation, it follows this or particular order. Next, going to control instructions. Like the name suggests, these instructions are used to control the flow of the program execution. These orders of the execution may be based on certain conditions or may be based on certain values, maybe input values or some result values. Types of control instructions. There are basically four types of control instructions. There are sequence control instructions, case control instructions, loop control instructions, decision control instructions. These control instructions cannot be executed without the following control statements: if-else statement or if-else if-else statement, while loop or do or while loop statements, switch case statements, for loop statements. We will be learning about each type of controls instructions in detail in the next coming up lectures. Thank you.